Recording in progress. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is 11:52. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
you can hear me. How are you, Faraja?
I'm good, Ayomide. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So my name is Oscar, and I think your mic is live. So we're going to be going live in exactly
In a world that's always evolving, one name has always been a constant: United Bank for Africa. 75 years of championing dreams, breaking barriers, and igniting change across the continent and beyond. From our roots in Lagos to the global stage, UBA is Africa's heartbeat, connecting cultures, empowering futures, and driving progress. We're more than just a bank. We are a partner in your journey, a supporter of your dreams, and a builder of a brighter tomorrow. Every interaction with UBA is a step towards a future where possibilities are limitless and dreams are realized. United Bank for Africa, where ambitions find a home, and together we shape a better world. United Bank for Africa. One brand, global influence. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank.
Africa is a continent brimming with potential and promise. The need for robust infrastructure is ever growing. At the heart of this transformative journey is UBA Group, a beacon of financial support and innovation. With a rich legacy of over 75 years, UBA Group has been at the forefront of funding and facilitating key infrastructure projects across the continent. We partner with governments, businesses, and communities to ensure that our projects align with Africa's unique needs and aspirations. As we look to the future, UBA Group remains steadfast in its mission to support Africa's infrastructure evolution, creating lasting impact that empower communities and drive progress. UBA Group.
In a world that's always evolving, one name has always been a constant: United Bank for Africa. 75 years of championing dreams, breaking barriers, and igniting change across the continent and beyond. From our roots in Lagos to the global stage, UBA is Africa's heartbeat, connecting cultures, empowering futures, and driving progress. We're more than just a bank. We are a partner in your journey, a supporter of your dreams, and a builder of a brighter tomorrow. Every interaction with UBA is a step towards a future where possibilities are limitless and dreams are realized. United Bank for Africa, where ambitions find a home, and together we shape a better world. United Bank for Africa. One brand, global influence. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank.
Africa is a continent brimming with potential and promise. The need for robust infrastructure is ever growing. At the heart of this transformative journey is UBA Group, a beacon of financial support and innovation. With a rich legacy of over 75 years, UBA Group has been at the forefront of funding and facilitating key infrastructure projects across the continent. We partner with governments, businesses, and communities to ensure that our projects align with Africa's unique needs and aspirations. As we look to the future, UBA Group remains steadfast in its mission to support Africa's infrastructure evolution, creating lasting impact that empower communities and drive progress. UBA Group.
In a world that's always evolving, one name has always been a constant: United Bank for Africa. 75 years of championing dreams, breaking barriers, and igniting change across the continent and beyond. From our roots in Lagos to the global stage, UBA is Africa's heartbeat, connecting cultures, empowering futures, and driving progress. We're more than just a bank. We are a partner in your journey, a supporter of your dreams, and a builder of a brighter tomorrow. Every interaction with UBA is a step towards a future where possibilities are limitless and dreams are realized. United Bank for Africa, where ambitions find a home, and together we shape a better world. United Bank for Africa. One brand, global influence. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank.
Africa.
Welcome to UBA Business Series. It is from the Tony Elumelu Amphitheater right here at the headquarters of Africa's Global Bank in Lagos, Nigeria. It's International Women's Day. Yes, it was on the 8th, but technically it's International Women's Month. So please, a round of applause to all the women in the house. And if you're watching live on TV or streaming on our YouTube channel, that's at UBA Group. Great to have you here with us. I am 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐿. Now, for those who have been following the UBA Business Series, you know it's going to be impactful. There's a lot of knowledge being shared, but this month's one is a bit special. Yes, it's because of the women in the building. Now, whatever business you're doing, whatever life hack that you've come across, whatever profession that you might be into, as a woman, we all know that we follow the journey, and some might say that it's not really been fair. The theme for this year is about accelerating action, and the reason is very simple. To achieve equity, to achieve fairness, to achieve all the things that women deserve and more, according to the World Economic Forum, is going to take us into 2185 for that to happen. So if we want to beat that, we need to move faster. Now, just to break the ice a bit, and this is a very dad moment for me, I have an 11-year-old daughter. Her name is Ruby Onyiso, and she made this pink brooch on my wrist. So it's not like I have... yeah, she made it 2 months ago, and she said, "Daddy, at your next event, wear it." I've struggled to find where I can wear pink. But it works, right? All right, so just say, "Thank you very much, Ruby, for making it for Daddy." On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go. I'm like the best dad of the year right now. And the feeling you share is also the feeling a lot of people want to share, but unfortunately the circumstances might not be the same. Whether it's at the workplace or at the business, women face challenges every single day they get up. Today we're going to have some phenomenal women grace the stage, but in addition to that, you also get to be part of this journey. Now, if you're a business owner, a female, UBA has put aside her progress story, hashtag her progress story. There's a barcode that will be coming up during this session. Scan it, fill out all the details, and more importantly, if you know there's a woman out there that needs a $1,000 grant, there's a business grant courtesy UBA for this, please send this link to her right now. The hashtag for today is, of course, UBA Business Series and hashtag UBA Accelerating Progress. Feel free to hashtag your questions. We will be taking as well, and follow us on all our social media platforms at UBA Group. Now, we don't want to take too much of your time. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of knowledge, experience to share. And it is a great pleasure to welcome on stage a phenomenal woman in her own right. She has a very unique story with UBA. She is the Regional Manager, Lagos Island 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please do make welcome Beatrice Akpan. I'm sure we can do louder than that, much louder.
Thank you, Oscar. Good morning, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here today. And I'm excited being in here with great men and women. I know some men are here to support us, so thank you for being here in the midst as well. Thank you also to the esteemed guests and speakers, and also our UBA team behind the scenes. You make this possible for us today. So many years ago, I would say decades ago, because I've been here more than 2 decades, I'll give you a personal story of myself. I actually walked into then Standard Trust Bank, now UBA, and my entire career in the banking industry has been, phenomenal because of UBA. UBA has provided me the platform, you understand, and to be the professional I am today. And all through the years, I know it has been challenging somehow, but you see, working in an organization that that supports women, I've come to learn that this great bank actually is inclusive and promotes gender equality. And from our board level, the CEOs of countries and as well as the departments, you see that these are led by women. And so UBA has created not just room for growth, but also to be able to ensure that Africa, as we stand, UBA is also a great bank in Africa, that we actually close that gap and create an enduring environment for women growth. So women out there, the audience and everywhere, thank you for getting up every morning, making it count, no matter the challenges. We all know that we all face different challenges in our different ways. But please, as you get up every day, you go to work, whatever you do, be it in your business, be it an entrepreneur, please continue to thrive because we know that we are the future. Thank you all so much. And UBA team, thanks again for creating this platform.
I'm sure we could do much better than that. The dedication that Beatrice talked about, being in the same bank, is also, I'm sure, the dedication a lot of women also share in common, whether it's banking or being a mother or being a sister, an aunt, and the list goes on and on. The year's theme for IWD is about accelerating action. Now, here's a very frightful fact. According to the World Economic Forum, at the current pace, achieving full gender parity may take up to 2158, which basically means, if my maths is right, my daughter will be 148 years old by the time we achieve some level of parity. So we all know that is not an option, and we need to do better. And that's why UBA put together this special edition of the business series. Now, you're going to meet a phenomenal woman who is a social entrepreneur. She is very vast in this field, and we're going to move from Lagos, Nigeria to Tanzania. But before we talk to her, let's find out who she is.
Faraja Kotta is a dynamic ex-beauty queen, lawyer, entrepreneur, and social innovator. She is the founder and co-CEO of a Pan-African enterprise delivering digital learning to millions and the creator of Ndota Hub, empowering women entrepreneurs. Award-winning and recognized among Africa's most impactful women and leading women in tech, she is also a young global leader at the World Economic Forum, redefining Africa's education ecosystem.
Faraja, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, Austin.
Fantastic. Great to have you with us. How's Tanzania? Is it morning, afternoon, or night? I'm not sure.
It is afternoon, and I'm very honored to be here with you all today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Lovely, as always.
Thank you so much. Just to break the ice, I usually do this. What did you have for breakfast?
Just coffee. I had 2 cups of coffee.
You won't last here in Nigeria. We don't do coffee here. We eat things like pounded yam, eba, egusi. I won't bore you with that. It's not about food. It's about women today. So I'll hand over the floor to you. Great to have you with us.
This not in person in Lagos, so that I get to try that amazing breakfast.
Absolutely not. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you, Oscar. It's really amazing to be with you all today. And I'm glad we had shared some few stats about the status of women around the world and looking at how much we have to do to actually achieve gender parity. And I just wanted to reflect with you a popular Senegalese proverb that says, "The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world." And the first time I saw this proverb, I think it was about 2 years ago, it really stuck with me because I really love the fact that it understood and embraced the nurturing, the foundational role of women, but at the same time, it showed how a woman is able to steer a future, is able to steer a generation to the right place, is actually able to influence and change and transform millions of lives, not just today, but also into the future. When we think of a woman, we think of her role in multiple spaces. We think of her role at home, we think of her role in our communities, we think of her role in our offices, in our spaces, whether it's business, whether it's corporate, whether it's public service, or whether it's social services. And as much as we want to acknowledge the progress that has been made so far, there is still so much more that needs to be done. And I believe that's the reason why we are all gathered today, because it is true indeed that we do have to accelerate the progress. What is at stake is so high, and the price has already been paid, and we keep on paying the price every day. Every single decision we make about leaving a woman behind, about not giving her a chance to get education, a chance to get learning opportunities, a chance to get business opportunities, a chance to grow her capital, a chance to grow her business, a chance to grow her career. Every single time we make that decision, we are actually putting further those years to not just 100 or 150 years, maybe to 200 years. And each one of us, whether you're a woman or you're a man, we both have the opportunity to actually close that gap and ensure women are supported to take up more spaces. And you've said it in my introduction. I mean, to say it in my introduction that I am an avid fan of education, mainly because I believe education has the power to bring out, to unleash that potential that we have and we know in a woman. And as much as we have to have investments, whether it's in health, whether it's in our environment, in our infrastructure as countries, but fundamentally, a country's progress is defined by how much it is investing in the human resource of that particular country. And I would be very selfish, I would add how much it is investing in the women's potential through the power of education and learning opportunities. We understand the ripple effect of actually supporting, of empowering, of enabling a woman to achieve her potential. When you empower a woman, when you enable her to achieve her potential, it has a ripple effect in her household. It has a ripple effect in her family's health, not just her personal health, but also her family's health. The type of children that she's going to raise in terms of them being responsible, in terms of them being educated, in terms of them being healthy, is actually very different. The further a woman gets education, the more she stays in school, the better she's going to become a mother, the more she's going to be very conscious of decisions in her family and in her community. I believe when we have empowered women, we'll also have a better representation in our political spaces, where women will be able to speak on women's issues, they'll be able to speak for the community at large and actually have contextual strategies and policies that address issues in their communities and not just issues that are very much single-centered or perhaps biased when it comes to implementation of the decisions. I believe in every sphere, whether it's at home, and I'm glad you said, Oscar, I was so happy when you showed this ideal image of a father, the ideal role model of a father that we're seeking for, a father who is able to not just provide education to her child, a father who is able to nurture that child, their personal development, their self-esteem, to be there and to guide them so that they're able to actually fulfill that potential that they're destined to have. And again, when it comes to office spaces, we see women earning less than men. We see women struggling to climb up the corporate ladder, not because they do not deserve, not because they have not earned it, but because there's so many biases, so many norms, so many wrong perspectives about women, about their capacity, about their role, and how they're going to be as leaders when it comes to these corporate or, let's say, public offices. But I believe we have better leaders in women, mainly because when you go back to the hand that cradles, that rocks a baby, a woman is able to be what I would call 360. Our empathy as leaders, our ability to think for everyone makes us visionaries and strategists who can think for the benefit not just of single few people, but for the benefit of a whole community, of a whole organization, of a whole company, and of the whole nation. My call for everyone today listening to me is to believe you have the opportunity to actually transform a girl, to transform a woman's life by enabling them to unleash their potential through education, through learning opportunities, but overall, through opportunities. Give us a chance, give us the platform, give us the space. And again, if you do not give us the space, as you've seen in so many occasions, women will strive to take up these spaces, they will strive and they will take up these spaces. But I believe we can work in collaboration, we can understand each other, we can respect each other, and we can believe in each other's abilities to actually steer our organizations, our companies, our societies to the right direction of prosperity. I thank you all for listening to me, and I'm so grateful to be with you all today. I believe we can all accelerate progress, and it starts with you and I. Thank you so much, Oscar, and thank you, everyone. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Faraja. That was well said, and of course, very salient point you did mention there. Please do not leave us just yet, and I hope you stay till the end of this session. We'll be back after the break, and you'll get a chance to meet our very distinguished lineup in terms of female leaders who have carved a niche in their several industries, but not only have they entered the industry, they've excelled and they've dominated. We'll be right back. It's still the UBA Business Series.
Africa is a continent brimming with potential and promise. The need for robust infrastructure is ever growing. At the heart of this transformative journey is UBA Group, a beacon of financial support and innovation. With a rich legacy of over 75 years, UBA Group has been at the forefront of funding and facilitating key infrastructure projects across the continent. We partner with governments, businesses, and communities to ensure that our projects align with Africa's unique needs and aspirations. As we look to the future, UBA Group remains steadfast in its mission to support Africa's infrastructure evolution, creating lasting impact that empower communities and drive progress. UBA Group.
In a world that's always evolving, one name has always been a constant: United Bank for Africa. 75 years of championing dreams, breaking barriers, and igniting change across the continent and beyond. From our roots in Lagos to the global stage, UBA is Africa's heartbeat, connecting cultures, empowering futures, and driving progress. We're more than just a bank. We are a partner in your journey, a supporter of your dreams, and a builder of a brighter tomorrow. Every interaction with UBA is a step towards a future where possibilities are limitless and dreams are realized. United Bank for Africa, where ambitions find a home, and together we shape a better world. United Bank for Africa. One brand, global influence. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank.
Great to have you back. Still alive from the Tony Elumelu Amphitheater right here at the headquarters of Africa's Global Bank in Lagos, Nigeria. This is the UBA Business Series, and if you just joined us from wherever you are in the world, great to have you with us. This is also streaming live on our YouTube page. That's at UBA Group. So if you're watching us live on television, thank you for joining us, but the conversation does go on our YouTube channel. And if you're a businesswoman out there, or you know a businesswoman who's interested in having $1,000 extra in the coffers for her business, feel free to scan the barcode that will come up during this conversation. And it's all about the Her Progress story, where we're looking to empower women in business as well. So you don't want to miss that. But we have three phenomenal women here. It is, I'm excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I am blessed among women. Who are these women? Let's check out their profile, and we'll be right back.
Chief Mrs. Fadayomi MFR is a distinguished board leader with decades of experience across public institutions, banks, startups, and non-profits. A lawyer and former chairman of the Institute of Directors, Nigeria. She has held key roles in both public and private sectors, including Attorney General of Lagos State. She is a trusted mentor to CEOs, guiding leadership development and succession planning. Flora Fabyan is an experienced legal practitioner with over 20 years in the financial services sector. With strong certifications from King's College London, University College London, and Lagos Business School, Flora has held leadership roles at the Bank of Industry, including Group Head, Legal, North and South, before becoming the Managing Director of BOI Investment and Trust Company Limited. She's an associate of multiple professional bodies, including the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers and the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. Nancy Isime is a celebrated actor, TV host, and global icon, known for her stellar roles in Nollywood blockbusters and international hits. Beyond film, she is a dynamic presenter, hosting major events and leading the Nancy Isime Show. A multi-award-winning trailblazer, she champions storytelling, youth empowerment, and women's rights. With her influence and excellence, she continues to redefine success.
Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause to our guest speakers, our panelists. Come on. Or did you all have a cup of coffee this morning? It's great to have you all here. I'm really excited to have you here. We have business, we have entertainment, we have governance, all in one wrap. I know we can't fit all of this in 1 hour, but we will try. Shantytown, how you doing? Don't worry, I'm going to be in the next Shanty. So me and Nancy have a scene. It's really nice. You like it. Isn't that right, Nancy?
Oh, well, we'll see about that.
Yeah. You shoot your shot. Men are going through things as well. So great to have you, Nancy. How are you feeling? How are you doing? How's the soft life?
Feeling good. Soft life is, yeah. I don't think you can really truly be soft in Nigeria. Yeah. You have to. You can't. I saw a few people, just talking about how, it would be so nice to be a soft babe. I need to leave my Agbero side. Okay, until you open the door.
Then you know what's up.
Step out of your gates. Then you wear back your Agbero. But yes, the soft life is soft life. We're trying.
Fantastic.
Hi,
great
everyone.
to have you.
Hi.
Show her some love. Go on.
Thank you so much.
We also have our mother in the house, and I think she's the epitome of persistent soft life, which kicked off years ago. Chief Fadayomi, MFR, Board Chairman, African Prudential PLC. Thank you very much for being here, ma'am. I was going to ask you, how is your soft life, but I don't think that's the question for you. Great to have you with us. I'm very excited to hear from you in particular because you have occupied very sensitive roles, and which are usually male-dominated roles, and I'm sure it hasn't been a walk in the park. So we celebrate you. We thank you for being persistent, and being that light of beacon to all the women out there. Please, a round of applause to her as well. And of course, Ms. Fabian, Bank of Industry Investment and Trust Company Limited as the MD. When people see you, they just see money. That's the truth. Am I wrong or am I wrong? I'm right, thank you.
I wish.
You are the definition of the softest life. But I know it's not that easy. It's not as straightforward as that. You are, in the world of investment, trust management, corporate finance, the money talk. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. You are the money woman, so I'm sure a lot of women here and those joining us online will have a lot of financial questions to ask. But generally, just to kick off the session, but before I move on to that, some housekeeping rules. For those who just joined us, we are live on television. That's on TVC and Arise. Thank you very much for being part of this, media partners. And also on YouTube, that's at UBA Group. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the comment section of the YouTube channel, and I'll be sure to take those questions when that time. Let us know your name and who the question is for, so that we can run through this. We don't have that much time. Now, each of you, like I mentioned, have excelled in various industries. So there's finance, corporate governance, entertainment. Can you share with us one significant challenge in a nutshell, just one that it sticks out like a sore thumb, and how you overcame it? I'll start with Chief Mrs. Fadayomi.
I think moving from the bank, well, the question is one single one, but it has been for me from one to another and then to another. I went from public sector to, that is the Ministry of Justice as a state counsel, from there into the banking sector as a legal advisor, and then from there into back to the Ministry of Justice, but as Attorney General. And for me, even though, of course, it's by appointment, but justifying your being there, I think that's what I felt as the biggest challenge. I was appointed there, and to the disbelief of many in the public, because I would say, first of all, the whole of our cabinet, I think we were under 40, and that was very, very, very new then. We were mostly in our 30s, and we were called the 𝐂𝐸𝐿𝐻 commissioners then. And apart from that, you are now a woman. At that time, almost statutorily, it was mandatory that one woman must be on the board, on the on the executive board. Now that seems like, what are you talking about? But yeah, before, cabinet members were all male, and it was accepted. So for the first time now, we had one woman to be on that cabinet, and therefore you would be tried in different ways. As Attorney General, you are facing battles every day. Every day is a challenge, and when you're seen as a woman, it's kind of we can challenge. Yes, we can challenge. But I found that as the most challenging part in maintaining and staying there as Attorney General. I think that for me it was. And there was nothing you could take for granted. It's as complicated
I can imagine.
as it sounds.
I can imagine. And every day there's a searchlight on you every single second.
Yeah.
What about you, Flora? One single challenge that you faced and have overcome.
Okay, it's difficult to narrow it down to one single challenge. I think what Chief Mrs. Fadayomi was alluding to is that we need, as a woman, to prove yourself even more than men have to. You've risen to this position, yet there's that questioning, like, does she deserve to be there? You know, you have to prove yourself twice as hard as a man. You know, when you're collaborative, they say you're weak. When you're assertive, they say you're too aggressive. It's all sorts of things. It's the undermining of your position, the questioning of your expertise, the second-guessing everything that you do. And it's there. I mean, a lot of organizations are doing so much now. But when push comes to shove, the systems that are designed to protect you, you know, to elevate you as a woman, they fail you if that system is called to mediate a particular situation that you're going through. If you dare to call it out, that system, 9 times out of 10, I think, will fail you.
Nancy?
If I would say challenges as someone who's in my industry, especially a female, it would just be literally, you know, the spotlight is constantly on you. Everything you do, everything you say, randomly as a person, you're supposed to be able to say anything you want, right? Like just even in public. But then you find yourself in a position, not find yourself, you walk yourself to a position, but you need to also understand that there are rules to this position. You can't behave a certain way, you can't talk a certain way, you can't be in certain places, and the world is quick to label you. In fact, they want to label you. And when they cannot label you or put a tag to you and put you in a box, you become almost a rebel that they target. So it's like, it's by force. It's like, you know, you're a Nollywood actress. You have to be this. You have to be that. What do you mean you're not? It's a lie. So just coming into that space and deciding this is going to be my footprint. I'm not going to be in any box. I'm not just going to be successful as an actor and recognized as an actor. I'm also going to be recognized as a host and then recognized as a show owner who has created her show and, you know, put out a show that everybody watches. Well, some people watch. I'm not. Before somebody in the crowd will be like, I know they watch them.
Wait, let's take a poll.
You see what I was saying? Like I have to make sure.
See, there what?
You
Yeah,
see, yes. Oh, thank you.
See?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You know, so a couple of people watch it, and this is a show that people have welcomed into their homes. So it's a big deal. You know, so for me, it was important that I be everything I want to be and I be good at it. You know, especially when you have a family and a dad who allowed you, you know, at a young age. I was 17 when I told my dad, I need to work. You know, I appreciate what you're doing for us, but there's just so much, and I see you struggling, Daddy. Like, let me go and work. And I have to also thank him. I say that all the time because he allowed me. He allowed me.
That's difficult for a father.
Yeah. So it took a lot of trust. So now I have to show him something for leaving home at 17. Luckily, he's very happy with that. So I think challenges will be basically breaking stereotypes, staying outside of the box, creating a niche for myself, and sticking to who I truly, truly am. So I think.
Thank you for that. You can clap. You're allowed to. So I'm going to kick off with Nancy. I have a bias for you. Obviously, we're kind of in the same sector. That's media entertainment, and there is a stereotype, you know, with females in the industry. But for you, how important is it, especially for those watching, anyone in your sector as well, how important is it for a woman to make her statement in a way that doesn't offend or come across as arrogant or whatever the case, or whatever tags they put it, because you need to do that. You wouldn't have lasted this long if you didn't. So I want you to just share with other women out there watching who, I mean, Nollywood is big now. Every young Gen Z millennial probably wants to have something to do with Afrobeats or Nollywood. So what will be your key message for them?
I hope that this is not a controversial statement, but if it is, it's okay. I don't think I've met a successful woman who wasn't stern.
Come again.
I don't think I've met a successful woman who isn't stern, firm. I might be wrong. That's why I said it might be a bit controversial. I haven't met one. And now when they want to refer to a woman who's a boss, they might say things like, she's bossy. But I haven't really heard that same statement used on a man. He's bossy. He's a boss. I'm not bossy. I'm the boss. I run a company, I run a brand, and there's a structure to it. So you're not going to walk into my life as anything, a friend, a partner, a staff, and just do anything you want with it. You must obey the structure. And I don't care how it seems. I would give instructions as it is, based on my knowledge. You know, so if you would walk into my company, into my production company, to work even for me as a brand, you will have to listen to this. So I've been around a couple successful women, and I can tell you for a fact, Oscar, they don't play. Because a lot of them don't even sleep. Because there's a vision that keeps them awake. And when you're a woman, you have to put times 10. You have to deal with people saying, who does she think she is? Talking to me like that. Your boss? The one who's paying for this? Or even the guest that you brought in. Wow. You know, so I feel like for me, I'll tell any young woman, you just put your foot 10 toes on business. Of course, there's a thin line between rude and being firm. Identify this. That's why you're an entire human being. You can learn and unlearn. You can research and, you know, enlighten yourself. Listen to people. Read books. That way you know what you're doing right or doing wrong. You don't need a constant person telling you no, yes, no, yes. If you want to be successful, your best friend is your intuition. You will tell yourself exactly what to do. You can get second opinion, but trust me, if it doesn't align with what you think inside, the chances of it being successful is slim to nothing. As a woman who gives life, God has blessed us with like the greatest intuition. We can literally, if I can sit down and tell my husband, darling, I feel like today you shouldn't go out. Or darling, this business partner you're going to make business with is wrong for you. Why can't I use that for myself? Why can't I use that for myself? Why can't I trust myself? I trust myself and my opinion before anybody else's. It comes first. So if I would tell a young woman right now, of course, if you've heard from a few people that you're not really, smart, it's okay. You can probably now try to say, okay, I beg, help me. But if you know for a fact that you're an honorary student, not even forget about school, if you know that the things where they come out for your mouth, a company hired you, right? Put you in a position. They trusted you with that. Yeah. So that already is trust. It's now left for you to show them why. I say something all the time. I'm so sorry. I say in every single work gathering, in anything, anywhere I step into, I will never be the weak link. Never be the weak link. So I do everything I can to go in that direction. And that pushes you. That when you see somebody else out working, you're like, I will be there. I cannot be the one they refer to saying this is why the work did not work. So always put your mind that you're never going to be the weak link. Trust yourself. You give yourself the best advice. I promise you. Just trust yourself. Yeah.
Great. I see a lot of ladies in the house nodding their head like, it's deep. It's deep. Now, the word boss is usually associated with position, with power. And with position and power, money plays a role. Men traditionally have... they have that money. It gives them a certain level of power. My next question is for Flora. When it comes to building financial stability, especially for women, it's very easy to be a boss on a business card, and if the account is not bossy, it will be difficult to assert, your authority. So I wanted to come to you because of what I would like to call, what are the practical steps, all right, when it comes to women securing, themselves, either for their family or for their business. You're in the finance, you know a bit about this. So to build generational wealth, not just for themselves, but for their children, what are the simple, easy steps that women should take? Call it a crash course.
Okay, I think the simplest and easiest way to financial stability and generational wealth is to marry well. Find a rich husband. That's just...
I didn't see that coming, actually. I thought it was like savings and bonds and investments. Fine man.
I am kidding. Please.
Wow. Should we off the mic and the internet?
I am surprised that we're clapping for that. That is the fastest way to getting wealthy and also getting yourself into trouble, because we also want financial independence, right? So, with that being said, I was joking about marrying well, but then your life choices are important. Your life choices are very, very important. Who you partner with in this journey called life is absolutely critical to your ability to build financial stability, or to have financial stability or build generational wealth. And what I mean is, you can't be working at cross purposes with your partner. If you're married to a 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐥𝐢 who wants to drive the latest car, you want to be carrying Birkin and all of that, well, sorry, it's working at cross purposes to any goal that you might have towards financial stability or building generational wealth. And generational wealth is about having enough money to look after yourself and then to leave something behind for generations to come. So the first thing that you need to do in terms of practical steps is to budget, right? You know how much you earn. Where is your money going to? What are you spending money on? You can't live their shabby life. Every party is a new outfit, and those things zap money. Before you know it, you are spending all of your money. You are not saving anything. So where are you spending your money? Are you budgeting? And then this life is the journey to generational wealth it's something that we call, it's about planning your estate. So there's a point where you acquire and you accumulate wealth. Then you also consolidate that wealth and grow the wealth before you can think of transferring the wealth or distributing it. So 3 phases. You need to first be earning substantially. So
3 phases.
Yes.
So you marry your husband, then next phase?
Well, leave that side, because not everybody that is going to marry. But basically, you're gathering, you're acquiring wealth, whether it's your job, your side hustle, whatever it is. You gather this wealth, and it's important to now put it in things that would multiply it. You have to understand compounding. Start small. It's not about having tons of cash and, saving it, putting it into something. It's about starting small. Whatever it is that you earn, set a little bit aside, and it will grow. You also have to educate yourself. Where do I put my money? What's going to work? Seek advice from professionals. Invest your money wisely. Something that is very, very important now, a lot of us, our salaries don't take us home. No, I don't care what level you are. You're earning, whatever you're earning is going down by that. It's just the reality of our economy. So you need to find other things to do to bring additional income. I don't think it's a taboo to say it now to your employers that, I have a side hustle. I think everybody understands that it's important. And I would encourage everybody, find something else that you do on the side to bring additional income. So you've got the money, you're saving it. Talking about generational wealth now is how do you transfer it? So what vehicle are you using to transfer this wealth? Do you need to own that asset in your name? God forbid something happens to you, you need to transfer that asset to your children or whatever. Probate taxes will wipe out a substantial amount of it. So these are things that you need to be talking about. And without shame, I'm going to market my business here. I work for a trust company. And use trust structures. You might even want to buy your property in the name of a company for ease of transfer in the event that you're incapacitated or you pass on. So these are things that
Sorry, when you mention trust, for those who might not understand, what's that about?
So it's a structure where you put your assets, you transfer your assets to someone called a trustee who holds it in trust for either you as the beneficiary or other named beneficiaries, so that in the event that something happens to you, you're not exposed to probate taxes. It's easy to transfer. You don't even need to do any transfer because the assets are already in a trust for the benefit of the named beneficiaries. So that's a structure that a lot of people are not using, but it's available. Go and talk to an expert. These are things that you need to be thinking about. Okay, I've accumulated so much wealth. I put my money in the stock market. Another thing I wanted to mention was, I think a lot of people are very, very apprehensive about the stock market. I personally, I love the stock market, and I have made a lot of money from the stock market. And it's not about, this stock is about to make money, so everybody runs, and it's about understanding the fundamentals. And that's why it's important to really educate yourself, talk to professionals. Don't take what everybody says, hook, line, and sinker. It's not about the next get rich
quick Ponzi.
Ponzi scheme, which a lot of people fall into, and that makes you risk averse. You become scared. When you hear investment, you start thinking somebody's trying to steal your money. No, there's a way to go about doing it and doing it properly.
Thank you very much for that. So the summary of what she said is marry a rich. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So
That's
we have
budget.
We have the saving. We have getting the knowledge. And this issue of trust is also very key. I think those are
about the investment vehicle, so that when you have to transfer, you're doing it in an efficient manner.
And there's no minimum amount. You can start small.
No, there's none. It's not for the rich. It's for everybody.
It's for everyone. And talking about starting small, UBA also has a product out there. If you're a businesswoman or a woman in business and you want to add $1,000 to your coffers, we do have her progress story, which is a campaign running. And if you know anyone that is eligible for this, send them the link to this live. There's also a barcode that will come up during the course of this conversation. It's still the UBA Business Series, and we have wonderful women in the house who are talking about governance, entertainment, investment. And now I'm going to move on to Chief Fadayomi. She's the board chairman of Africa Prudential PLC. Now, we've talked about asserting yourself, being firm without being rude. We've talked about finance in terms of saving. Now, I wanted to come to you, Ma, because you represent a generation that I believe is very key to the new generation when it comes to the issue of being a woman in office and also attending to your responsibilities either as a wife or as a homekeeper and all whatnot. So I wanted to find out, in your journey through the years and all the positions you've held, finding that, I'm going to use the word balance. Some might disagree that there is no balance. You kind of wing it. What has been your guiding principle for women who want to occupy positions that take their time away from their family, that take their resources, that basically takes them away from every other thing, and they must be dedicated to that cause? How have you been able to navigate that?
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of planning and time and just being all over the place, all of the time. But I think that's what's so wonderful about women, is that somehow, even from the time you're young, you've kind of been trained or drilled into that role. And just like men have some advantages as men when they go into the workplace, I think women too have some and should capitalize on some of these advantages or benefits, I would say advantages that women have. How is it like that? Because from the time you're young, your mom calls you in, come and help me with the cooking whilst the boys go out to play football or friends or something. And, you kind of, sometimes you may not be too happy, but on the whole, you don't question it. So you're used to helping out with the family in the kitchen. Maybe if somebody is sick too, they're okay, go and take care of this, at home. Your dad isn't feeling well or something. So you've been brought up, even before you leave home, as a caregiver, really. And to have compassion. Even your sisters, your siblings, older or younger, you're also responsible. Okay, we will not be around most of today, so take care of the house. You're given that responsibility. So by the time you're now leaving the house, or even if you're not leaving the house, you start work. By the time you're doing that, it's just a continuation, really. If you look at it, it's a continuation. You work, go to the office, you work, you come back from the work immediately, or even sometimes during work times, you have to go and do some quick picking ups and all of that. And just to show you how stereotyped we were, like, even as lawyers, and from some stories, I understand some lady lawyers still face that today. My boss would say, oh, I know you're so busy and all that. You don't mind picking up the children for me during office hours. And what do? You quickly get your car, go and pick the children up. You come to work, you've done your own picking up of your own children. You get to work, go and pick up your boss's children, come back again. And at the same time, quickly you're phoning them at home, what to prepare or to find out how they have been prepared. So you're just used to juggling all those kind of things and still be very present at work. I also noticed something about one of my bosses, because I noticed that he would be responsible for so many of the things at home too. And I'm wondering, well, I do that. The children are going to school for the first time. They're going to boarding school. I take them. But for many men, they actually have that responsibility. I'm just saying that for many of the women who are doing very well at work, many of them are also doing very well at home because they have learned over the years how to manage. If you are not able to manage that, that becomes a problem, and then it really does affect your work. And I would just say that it's just that little bit of extra hard work or extra work that women are lumbered with, but which we love. We love doing it because we would not give it away to anybody we would not give it away to anybody else. But it's an additional work, and it's an additional skill that we acquire. And when we are taking decisions at board level, always remember it, because you bring onto the board a viewpoint and a perspective that many of your male colleagues may just totally lack.
Yeah.
And this may, enhance so many areas of the performance of your company. So I think so. Even when it comes to some of the problems you have with family, with spouse, you also learn how to navigate that and take care, managing people, managing issues. You learn over the years how to do that, because if you are not at peace at home, it's going to be very difficult for you to be at peace and with full mental presence at work. So you also learn to juggle that. And then a senior counsel, when I was in the ministry, also said to me that, look, whenever they're doing meetings, don't ever use the reason that, okay, I have to go to the clinic, sorry, I can't be around. And then they say, if you say that, men are very accommodating, and they say, that's okay, I understand. So you can have the time off. Yeah, you need the day off. Okay, you can have the day off. You go and take care of your home responsibilities, and you will be accommodated. But when it now comes to the day of promotions and who's assigning, they say, she's always very busy. And who can blame her? Who can blame her? She's got this, she's got that, let's just leave her at there, and then, so-and-so who is always present will begin. So you can't have your cake and eat it at the same time.
It's funny you should raise that, because now it feels like women have an impossible choice not to voice these things that are natural. It's that time of the month, you have to pick up your kids. These are things that happen the same way a man would have, whatever men have, at the end of the month. But I will move over, but thank you very much for that. Those are very salient points. There's no easy answer to that. We're going to go to the audience very quickly to take some questions. We have some online, but my next question, which was the first one from Adesua from Lagos, that's for Nancy. Now, Nancy, she didn't invite us to her wedding. She's married to a guy called Darling. Is it Darling, you said? In your example, you said Darling. That was an example. Not that his name is Darling. You guys are like, we missed the wedding of the year or something. Now, Nancy, this is for you, because you represent what a lot of the modern women are, which is financial independence. You got it going on. You have your thing going on. And anything that anyone achieves, it's much fun when you share it with someone that you love. I've always believed that. Now, for you, without putting you in a very tough spot or facing that impossible choice of choosing between this career and brand you've built so far and whoever this Mr. X, Mr. Darling, will be, what is your greatest fear, all right, in terms of crossing over from who you are now to that person that you need to be? Mommy has been there. What is your greatest fear, if you can share that with us?
In terms of choosing my spouse?
Not choosing your spouse, choosing your career and your brand. Yeah, when things need to happen, and there's a man who needs this from Nancy, and there's your studio that needs this from you. What is your greatest fear? Not the choosing man part. I'm not going down that road.
Okay. So there was no Adesua. Oscar is Adesua. Choosing between my career, my brand, or a man telling me to, drop them and focus on him.
If that comes up.
I think it's too late. I'm 33. I'm 33. I think if I wanted to settle, I would have done that in my 20s. But it's too late to go back now. So now it's either the man God has for me, who definitely will not see me working my purpose and then asked me to drop it to wait for him at home. So
well,
it's too late to answer that question. I wish I was in my 20s, but I don't know, maybe. But yeah, like I said, I'm 33. If the man who God is going to bring my way now, especially now with everything I've been able to do for myself, needs to know that he's an accessory. I don't want to say it this way because it sounds weird, but I hope it's not taken weird. But he's also, just like I'm an accessory to his dreams, he's also an accessory to my dreams.
Fantastic.
So if he can't be that, then
I have an idea of what the answer should be, but it seems, and I mean, I'm in a lot of these kind of conversations, and I don't think women have to get to a point where they choose between. There's a way you need to balance it, complement each other, and the choice, I think someone mentioned, you were joking about the issue of marrying, but whoever you end up with is a very fundamental part of your continued success, irrespective of where you are. And I thought a lot of women needed to hear that again, especially in our generation.
I'm just going to highlight that a little. I feel like this fear and this question would only be directed to women. And it's great that you're actually directing it because really, I don't think a man would sit here and you say, how would you, you know, you can just decide whenever you want as a man to do that. But as a woman, it is such an important part of your life. Please, like, and Oscar, again, I'm so glad you brought it up because that shows how important
it is.
Your life partner is. So who you choose, if he doesn't understand the dream, if he doesn't see it, if he doesn't support it, that cannot be who God has for you. I'm a Christian. I'm also quite spiritual because, you know, I feel like everything in the world is spiritual. Everything. What happens in the spirit comes to manifestation in the physical. So if you, again, your intuition, as a woman, we give life. It's a big deal. So if you listen to yourself really about who the man is, you would see the red flags, God would tell you. But otherwise, if you don't have any direction, you know, in terms of like being an entrepreneur, having a name for yourself, a business for yourself, have fun, like she said, marry well. Just get married, man. But if you do have a path and you want to be a career woman, which is not for everybody, we must not shame women who don't want the same path. Not everybody wants to be Nancy, 33, like hardworking.
Get on.
House, okay, cool for you, man. Me, I don't want that. I want, you know. So if you're a woman and you're watching this and you don't want that, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just as ambitious as I am, but it's just two different ambitions. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. For those of you who just joined us, great to have you. This is the UBA Business Series, and we are talking about basically against the odds. The conversation is still going on our YouTube channel. That's at UBA Group, so feel free to continue. For those who joined on live TV, thank you very much for being part of this. We're taking questions now in the YouTube channel, so in the comment section, feel free to just put your questions in there. This one is Adeswa from Lagos for Nancy. Of course, I'll run through some of the other questions. Yeah, it's just only you. It gets well. Okay. This is from Adesso, actually. Okay. Who is a woman that has inspired you, and what impact has she had on your life?
Thank you for that question, Adesso. I'd like to highlight Oprah Winfrey. I feel like when I see Oprah, the first question I'll ask her is, how were you able to thrive in an industry that feeds off? Because beauty, yes, it's in the eyes of the beholder, and beauty is not something you can just throw around and say, okay, but in our industry, there's something called eye candy, and you're supposed to, when you look a certain way, it's easier for you. Then when you now sabi the walk, like I say, it's even times 10 easier for you, because it's like, okay, fine, she's pretty, she has brains, she's good at her job, perfect. But Oprah was able to take herself with, you know, all the criticism she got on her look. There were times where they kept hammering on her weight constantly. Basically, they would bullshit. that hard work, and they will focus on her weight. So I want to know the mental work that she did on herself to just go through. But yes, definitely Oprah, definitely another person, just two people. And I feel like a lot of people, but Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
Beyonce's work ethics is one of the greatest in the world. If they call her the greatest, it's because of her work ethic. You need to understand that. In a business, if they tell you you are great at what you do, it is your work ethics that took you there. Nobody is really caring about, how the MD of a bank is so wonderfully dressed. That's my job. Like, it's my job to, just dressing up nicely already does half of the work for us. But Beyonce's work ethics, she's been in the business for so many years, but every time you see her on stage, even until December 25th, where she had a show, it's still like she's just coming up. The hunger, the thirst will only die down for me when I've decided that I am done and I'm retired. I never want to feel like I've arrived, because I feel like that's the death of everything as a creative, or even as anybody. Like when you feel like, yes, finally, there's 1 million in my account. There can be more. Finally, a house, there can be more. There's always more and more and more to achieve. So these two women, first for Oprah's amazing mental, intellectual, she's just such a powerhouse. And Beyonce for her work ethics. I want to know how to be 20, 40, 50 years in my business and still give it up like I'm just starting and I need a job.
Thanks for that. Well done. I have Chinwe from Abuja. This is for Flora. What's one stereotype about women in business that you believe needs to change? It's Chinwe from Abuja. Thanks a lot, Chinwe, for that.
A stereotype of women in business. Well, I think it's the whole narrative about, being aggressive. This successful women in business now, we face challenges every single day in terms of, how we're perceived, and, the notion about how you've reached the heights that you've gotten to, what was your journey there. And there's that, constant undertone of second guessing, saying that there's always a reason. It's never really about your expertise or your competence. That's never what has gotten you there. There's always some side story that needs to be told. And I think that's what was the question again? The stereotype.
That's one stereotype.
Yeah, so there's always that something, a story about, why is she, how come she's the MD of, of Zenith Bank or whatever. There's a story. Why does it have to be that way? It really doesn't have to be that way. A lot of the time, women get to the positions that they are at just by the sheer dint of hard work. They're competent. There's also, just being here, I was saying to Mrs. Fadayomi that we already are questioning ourselves. There's the whole imposter syndrome, and that drives women, successful women. It drives you to work 10 times harder. It drives you to prepare 10 times harder than, because you don't want anybody second guessing you. You're already paranoid about walking into that room and owning the space. So you're already working 10 times harder. However, there's always some narrative, some backstory, and it's always very, very frustrating for me when I hear that. Like, even people who you think should know better perpetuate these stories, and they just throw it in there, to somehow dim the light.
And justify why you got to where you...
Yeah, so I think that's one.
I will... there are many layers to this conversation. We have some phenomenal women also in the room with us. Just wanted to take time to recognize them. When it comes to the, editors, publishers space, the print, please do make welcome, as I recognize the presence of the chairperson, Punch Newspapers, and the person of Angela Emoa. Thank you very much for being here, ma'am. We also have the publisher, Frank News, and the person of BC Folutile. Thank you so much for being here. Juliet Buma, the editor, New Telegraph, also here. Thank you. And 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐿, the editor this day style. Where are you? Okay, somewhere around here. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time. Still have some more questions. In the audience, if you have a question, please just raise up your hand so we can get the microphone over to you. Okay, so let's get the mic over to them. Let us know your name, where you work, UBA, and who your question is addressed to. So let's get the microphone. But I have one question here. This is for Chief Mrs. Fadayomi. Zainab from Lagos says, what challenges do women face the most in your industry, and how can we break these barriers? I think we kind of touched on this with the first question that we asked you, but do you want to just quickly touch on that for Zainab? Maybe she just joined in.
In industry challenges are perhaps similar to others. I think you have these networking issues, being part of boys' clubs. You are excluded. There's certain networking. They say networking is absolutely essential, but there are certain types of networking that you are, by the fact that you're a woman, you are definitely excluded
like
from.
Gentlemen's club, those like
gentlemen's clubs. You're definitely excluded from that. As a time, I mean, you cannot be going out very late at night, and that's often when some very key meetings are held. You say, okay, we'll see, maybe around 12 o'clock. Very comfortable with that, and it goes on till about 3. Definitely you are out of that too. And then...
But are you, sorry to interject, I just wanted to, because it's a very interesting point. Are you really out of that? In the sense that if there are women who are seen at a place, lounge, bar, rest, whatever, at 1 a.m., why is there a little or a lot of bias as to what's she doing out here? Why is that narrative is so propagated?
Yeah, that's a good question, because like my generation now, yes, it would have been, but for women upcoming now, it's not so much of an issue. It's not so much
Nancy,
of an issue. Yes, a lot of things are not so much. I mean, for lawyers, in my, I don't know, I would say whether my industry, I would say corporate industry, as well as legal and everything, just being in the corporate world. I would just say that you really do need to belong, though. And it's much easier for the younger women, the women now, to have that freedom. So I really don't think that there's any issue, many other issues that are so critical. Apart from that, you just have to do some elbow grease and hard work. I don't think. It has been lifted to that extent. Barriers from home, cultural barriers. You may not be able to have as much access as you would want to. Resistance from your home, even sometimes spouses and all of that. Children, taking care of matrimonial issues and family issues. But apart from that, I think in the corporate world, women have, once you're there, to a great extent, have been emancipated, I would say. But the struggle continues, because you need that time. You need the opportunity for education, training, leadership training roles, conferences, mixing with other very successful women. You move around with the kind of people you want to be. So if you want to be noted for being a successful woman and achieving many things, you have to move around with them. You have to listen to what they say, where they say it. You have to be at the right place at the right time, as well as your own. So otherwise, I would say.
All right. Thank you very much for that. You try to cover as much as you can. I know there's a lot more. There's a lot more to that. This one is for Flora. We have. Let me see. Okay, suggestions. This particular person wants suggestions of. Is it websites or places where investments can take place? Just a couple, if you can throw them out there.
Where investments can take place?
Yeah, in terms of investing, putting your money in sites, websites, places that you can go.
Off the top of my head, I really can't tell you any particular websites, but if you're thinking about making investments, the first thing and the best thing you can do for yourself is to, talk to someone who is an expert in the space.
Like you. Haha.
Yes. But in terms of where to get this information, are there any websites? I guess companies have websites, investment banks and financial advisors, they have websites where they put up a lot of information about, where to invest and what's going on in the market and all of that. But then whether or not you're able to understand it is a different kettle of fish. So I think the first thing that you need to do is educate yourself by looking for the websites. I know it's sort of going around the issue, but find an investment advisor to give you direction. It's really the best place to start.
I think that kind of covers it. We have a question here in the audience. Please just stand up. Let us know. Okay, yeah.
Okay, this was a bit unexpected, so I'm not sure which angle to come from, but maybe I should talk a bit about myself. When I became chairman of Punch, it was more because...
Hello?
Hello. Yes, it was because I was... the next in line, actually, unfortunately, my brother died suddenly. My senior brother died suddenly. But what I keep telling people is that I came in with experience because I spent about 10 years at Newswatch. I spent about 3 years with Africa Today, another publication, and then News Africa before I stopped working to take care of my son who's autistic. So when I became chairman, which was very unexpected, I was just put there, like, okay, you're chairman, and I was left on my own. So I thought, okay. So I just said to myself, I said, look, you know what you know what you don't know. What you don't know, go and look for, seek for knowledge about that. And then I joined this group called, I had been going to Gaia. I don't know if you've heard of Gaia. It's a fantastic women's group for women at C-suite level. And even though I live on the mainland, they had a dinner that day. I said, I'm going for this dinner. And you have to forget about staying on the, on the mainland. So I went there, and I met a lot of people who were so encouraging. Said, okay, you can do this course, do that course. A lot of chairmen of companies there, so they gave me a lot of advice. So that's one thing that is that really helped. And then because it's a family business, I found a lot of, first of all, there was some undertone of, her husband will help her. That, if she has any problem, she can ask her husband. And I thought to myself, hell no, I'm not going to do that. So I had to kind of prove myself. I made sure that I acquired a lot of knowledge on different things. And when you have an uncle who is at that top level, who is very well educated and all that, and you want to challenge him, if he says something, I just made sure that whatever I had to say, I knew what I was talking about. So information for me was power. And it took a while, but I think eventually, if I got to a stage where I had to tell them at one board meeting, I said, I'd just like to ask very, very, very respectfully, because it was my uncle, I said, can we just talk to each other as colleagues on the board? Let's respect ourselves. That I feel that you're not used to having a woman as chairman, so, I understand that, and please let us just relate with us, each other in this way. And that's when things started changing. So,
you had to be firm, in the words of
exactly.
Nancy.
Yes. So, yeah, I have a long story, but I think I can stop here for now.
Thank you very much for that. So for those who might not know, Ni Abodin, of course, the family well known with respect to Punch. And I think your case is even more peculiar and unique in the sense that it's business, you're a woman, and then it's a family business, like 3 layers. Kudos to you, man, and well done for the job done so far. We have another question. Let's know your name and who your question is addressed to.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to UBA for organizing this. My name is Catherine Wosu, the CEO of Africa Prudential PLC. My question is on the issue of women supporting women. Very often you get this narrative that women don't support women. So I think any of them can take this question. What do you think we need to do so that we can start supporting each other? Because if we do, we will achieve that parity before the 150 years that is expected. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Very difficult question to answer. Does anyone want to attempt that? Or should there be a context to the women supporting women if, is there an if behind it? Or just women supporting women, full stop?
Okay. So I feel like the issue of support is general. Men in the industry, I feel, they also have the same issues that we have in terms of somebody, jealousy is not gender-based. Envy doesn't have any gender, but it's more pronounced because as women, we really are emotional humans, so we can't help it. So even if we're feeling something about someone, we're going to express it with our faces, and when you see somebody who is overly excited around you, especially if your intuition is right, you can probably tell, okay, this is wrong and that's not wrong. But I think how you can tackle that, I'm going to just pull up a word that I learned in meditation. I didn't know about the word itself, I just knew that it was an act, and it's called mudita. Mudita here is, and this is it really, yeah. Yes, so mudita. Okay, has any camera got in it? Okay, cool. So mudita is the practice of cultivating appreciative joy at the success and good fortune of others. I'm going to read another definition. And by the way, it's pronounced mudita. And it's a noun, sympathetic joy, the experience of happiness upon seeing someone else's happiness, the opposite of FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. And that's why I said I feel like support is not gender-based. Women, we just talk a lot. Men internalize. If you're able to practice mudita every day, you would find yourself not only being happy for others, you also find yourself experiencing joy. Your brain, your body doesn't know whether the joy is coming from something that you achieved. It just knows it's joy. What your brain does is it releases certain chemicals like oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and this is what the brain really processes. Not whether you got a house, whether you got your job, whether you got anything. It doesn't really. Yes, you can, because you're a spirit being, you can identify that. But your brain knows that this hormones have been injected to it, so it has to behave that way. And that's why certain people would take it. People like me, I would get it, derive it from the gym. I will go to the gym. I will read books just to make sure I'm in that constant state. So if you practice mudita, which is basically looking at someone else's joy, and instead of saying, I want that for myself, because that could even destroy you. Sometimes we want what other people have, but that could literally be the end of you. If it's not for you, then it wouldn't come to you no matter what you do. So just expressing that. And before you know what's happening, when you live a life of joy, where everything comes from love, everything comes from peace, decisions are made from that place, everything just sits in. So first things first, in order not to compare, and in order to support another woman, another human being, thirst. work on your mental, work on your frame of mind, work on your mantras, your affirmations, and what you do. I believe in meditation, and that's where it starts. So as women, we don't talk about self-care a lot, but we don't understand that a lot of our decisions is deeply rooted inside of us and what we've done constantly since we were young. We've probably watched everybody around us. Wait till she gets safe, it sticks. Wait till she gets safe when you have 12, it sticks. 17, 18, 19, 25, you start seeing yourself saying, wait till she gets safe. It's from there. So let's heal, let's work on meditation. And everything is not blue or white. Sometimes it's just, you just find certain things. And So
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I say.
It's not gender-based. I like that. I think that's what I'll take away. You wanted to mention something? If you want to help.
Yes, this is something that I think we need to really talk about. Nancy spoke about us not seeing each other as competition. I think that's what you're suggesting, that be happy for the next person. They're not your competition, you know. You don't have to have what the next person has. That being said, I think women really need to be woke. It's a real issue. Women not supporting women. I don't know why it happens, but in my experience, I think we women can do a lot more than we're doing currently. A lot of the things that women say, sometimes I hear it and I'm like, did she just say that out loud? You know, things like, I don't want to work with a woman. She will soon go on maternity leave. Her daughter is... Women, your fellow woman who has probably gone through these challenges, but maybe she's past her childbearing years, she's now at the top of her career. She just has no empathy for the people coming behind her. And I feel women need to be deliberate. Just because an issue doesn't affect you or you've managed to surmount that issue, you've gotten past that, doesn't mean that that issue doesn't exist. I had a conversation with someone recently about racism, and they said, oh, Nigerians are so resilient. You know, when they go abroad, they excel because they don't have the issues that Black Americans have. They just work twice as hard, and if you try to put them down, they work twice as hard. And I'm just like, you know, just because you don't see it or because you are able to walk past, doesn't mean that it's not somebody else's reality. You need to be woke. You need to be more alert to these issues, and you need to do something to address that issue. And how do you address that issue? Women need to start to mentor and sponsor each other actively. You know, you get to the top and you pull the ladder. You don't want other women to, you want to be the only woman on the board. You know, it happens a lot, and it's something that we women need to take seriously. I don't know, at a point I was so frustrated, I was like, maybe we need to organize a women's group where we start talking to ourselves every day about the challenges that we are facing, yet nobody is addressing. Nobody wants to talk about it. When it comes up, women will help to sweep it under the carpet.
Do you think there's a lot of lip service to these challenges? There's a lot of noise, but in terms of action, do you think...
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we keep praising, you know, and organizations are doing a lot. But the undertone is still there. It's there under the surface. It's not overt. It's not someone coming to slap you. Everybody can see that. It's underneath, the subtle things that people do.
It's the look your mother gives you when a neighbor should say, do you want to go to the neighbor? And neighbor asks you for meat.
Exactly.
And your mom is like... She didn't say no, but you get the message.
Exactly.
But thanks for that. I think it also cuts into what Nancy mentioned earlier, which is finding love from within, just being good with yourself. You emit what is from within. So if there's bitterness, trauma, setback, whatever it is that is, and women are incubators. I mean, for those who don't know, if you give a woman anything, she multiplies. You give her ingredients, she gives you food, she gives you babies. If you give her anger, she multiplies it and gives it back to you tenfold. Let's take a... Oh.
On that. Hello, can I also add that, yes, in supporting other women, it's not necessarily giving out candy, like candy bars. What the real support is recognizing the weakness of it. And that's why they said it's not gender-based. Any person can have a particular weakness. It could be the person is a minority in the environment, or it could be that they have other weaknesses. But identifying it, and we're talking about women now, identifying it, it could be bringing it out and letting that woman understand that this is what is keeping you back. Not just the fact that you're a woman. This is what is keeping you back. When that woman can identify it, it's because you need to do more work. You need to work on this a little more. You need to get to work on time. Don't take the shortcut all the time. So some advice, we can't have it both ways. If a man is ready to work 3 times, okay, maybe somebody's already done the food and everything for him at home. Well, just make your own food, pack it somewhere, and also be ready to put in the amount of time, effort, and energy in also doing that. And that could be the weakness, you know. So identifying it, helping them pinpoint that area that sometimes is women we do have.
Thank you very much for that. We'll take final question from the audience. Your name and who your question is addressed to.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damilola Ibameru.
Okay, Flora's daily routine. That's your question. Okay, not her account balance. Yeah.
Your daily routine, like what do you do every day? How did you get here today?
So my daily routine, well, it varies. It depends on what I've got going on. But on most times, I wake up around about 4 o'clock in the morning, believe it or not, because I have a side hustle. And that needs attention. So when I'm at the office, I can't really do anything about that. But I wake up at 4, try and get as much as I can out of the way. A few months ago, I used to exercise quite a lot, but life has gotten in the way. I have a new responsibility, and somehow I just can't find time to exercise. But I used to I'm not making excuses. But I would try to get some exercise in. And then I go to work, have meetings, go through my day, finish work around about 6 o'clock. And my husband and I go to work together, and he comes to pick me up, and we go home together. And
please don't tension us that they're not married or Abby.
And I make dinner every single evening. That is not because I have to, but because I want to. I really
Please,
enjoy.
what's the difference? Please expand that very quickly.
I don't have to because I have help. I mean, I can afford. If I didn't want to cook, I could get a cook or whatever. In fact, my nanny prepares everything. But I like to prepare the food. And my husband has allergies, so we need to be really careful. So every single evening, I get home, I pour myself a drink, and I make dinner. And I really enjoy the process. We have dinner together and then watch something and go to sleep.
Why are you clapping? Why are you clapping? They all, Mom, Abby. Fantastic. I would love to take more questions, especially those online. If you just joined us online, thanks a lot for being here. You've missed a ton, but thankfully it's on YouTube, so you can always watch this back. It has been UBA Business Series talking about, literally accelerate action against all the odds, the impact of women, 3 phenomenal women in the house. And it is a great pleasure to also invite or welcome on stage another phenomenal woman who has held her fort in UBA as well. She is the Group Head, Marketing and Corporate Communications. Ladies and gentlemen, please do make welcome Alero Ladipo.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I think my job is very simple and easy, but we've had so many insights today from fantastic women. And, you know, also we have very great women in the audience. I also want to just recognize all the women that we have in the audience, chairperson of Punch, CEO of media organizations, And a special, special thank you to our panelists. Thank you, Chief Mr. Fadayomi. Thank you so much, Nancy. And thank you so much for sharing not just your routine, but also the fact that what you said about women supporting women is so true. And I think over time, somebody should actually write something on it. I'm sure there's a book on it. And I think what we will do after this business series is share some knowledge about how we can continue to support women. But apart from that, I also just want to speak to my organization that gives us the opportunity to have these sorts of conversations as well. I think it's really important that, you know, this is a business series, but a topic like female empowerment, fairness, and nobody is waiting for that 150 years before we get to. None of us is going to wait for that. So the fact that UBA as an organization across Africa is supporting women, I just want all of us to give us a round of applause for that and to thank our management for supporting us. So, and thank you, Oscar, for being gracious amongst women. And you are blessed amongst women as well. Thank you very much. But just for us to say a little thank you, we did have, can I just have the trophies? We did have a little, we thought this was quite an inspiring, I call it a little bit of a trophy that you can keep on your desk for joining us today. And it just recognizes women's strength, the pose of women showing their strength. And we're just going to, just in honor, I'll present this to Ms. Fadayomi, Chief. Thank you so, so much. Can I have the next one, please? Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so, so much. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And it's just something small, just to remember us by, and then maybe also when you look at it, the support for women, the support for men, the support for industries and sectors, and also the support for UBA will come through as well. Yes. So thank you. Thank you very much. I think we'll take some pictures with the events and then with everyone here. And for the audience, both online, people that have been in the room, I hope that this has been a fantastic event for you and you've gotten nuggets. I took some notes. I hope all of you took some as well. And for those of us online, I hope you enjoyed the session. And for our media partners, thank you so much. For those that went live, for those that's going to take it at news, thank you for always supporting the United Bank for Africa, and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Alera. Once again, of course, from Africa's Global Bank, it has been quite an interesting edition of the UBA Business Series. We're going to have a picture with the ladies and then with Alera. Do you want to have with the awards as well? Okay. I have a question here. Why doesn't the MC have an award? Should he wait till International Men's Day? I really can't answer that question. All right, so we'll take one here, and then I'll pass the awards. Let me know when you're ready. Those of you online, thank you for joining. And if you missed out on my announcement earlier on, we do have the Her Progress Story, which is rewarding businesswomen out there $1,000 a business grant. So if you want to be part of that, there is a barcode that will show up on the screen. So you can see that barcode here. Okay, this is tricky. There we go. So that's the barcode. There we go. That's the barcode. So you can scan it and just follow all the instructions that you have there. So if you know someone, in terms of people supporting people, feel free to send them the link as well and participate. Ladies and gentlemen, please once again a round of applause to our distinguished speakers. It has been quite an interesting 1 hour plus. All in the spirit of her progress, all in the spirit of going against the odds. The hashtag is UBA Business Series, hashtag UBA Accelerating Progress, also hashtag Her Progress Story. You can follow all the conversations at UBA Group. That's the social media. And you can also watch this business series and all previous business series, courtesy UBA as well. Oh, okay.
Africa is a
Thank you, everyone.
continent
We have,
brimming with
gift
potential
packs
and
for
promise.
you, so
The
as you
need
leave
for
the room
robust
and we take-
infrastructure is ever growing. At the heart of this transformative journey is UBA Group, a beacon of financial support and innovation. With a rich legacy of over 75 years, UBA Group has been at the forefront of funding and facilitating key infrastructure projects across the continent. We partner with governments, businesses, and communities to ensure that our projects align with Africa's unique needs and aspirations. As we look to the future, UBA Group remains steadfast in its mission to support Africa's infrastructure evolution, creating lasting impact that empower communities and drive progress. UBA Group.
In a world that's always evolving, one name has always been a constant: United Bank for Africa. 75 years of championing dreams, breaking barriers, and igniting change across the continent and beyond. From our roots in Lagos to the global stage, UBA is Africa's heartbeat, connecting cultures, empowering futures, and driving progress. We're more than just a bank. We are a partner in your journey, a supporter of your dreams, and a builder of a brighter tomorrow. Every interaction with UBA is a step towards a future where possibilities are limitless and dreams are realized. United Bank for Africa, where ambitions find a home, and together we shape a better world. United Bank for Africa. One brand, global influence. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank.
Africa, the continent brimming with potential and promise. The need for robust infrastructure is ever growing. At the heart of this transformative journey is UBA Group, a beacon of financial support and innovation. With a rich legacy of over 75 years, UBA Group has been at the forefront of funding key infrastructure projects across the continent. We partner with governments, business, and communities to project align with Africa's unique needs and aspirations. We look to the future.